All right, and good afternoon, and welcome to the Quiet Gentleman channel for Rook and Rasp. I am John. I'll be your GM for the day. Really quick, looking out there at our followers. Can y'all hear us? It is the daily seance of Twitch. Can you hear us? And
Oh,
yeah,
can you hear us?
pretty
Oh.
much. Yes.
We hear you.
Uh,
Yay.
praise the Twitch spirits. All right. So, So, greetings and welcome to Seriously Let's Play, the show that was once a podcast and is now a Twitch stream here on The Quiet Gentleman for Rook and Rasp. And today is going to be our third episode. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see our first two episodes that we did. Our first one was Necrobiotic, which is a Kickstarter that I think just wrapped up. So, really excited for that one. And Penny for a Tale. Last week, I had the terrifying responsibility, and it was last show, not last week, of running Never Going Home for the game creator and original artist. So that was, of course, always fun when you run the game for the people who made it. But this week is our third episode as we've started off this new show and we're playing my game. So this is my first release of a game coming out, and this is called Gutterpunk. Uh, before I get into too much, I have some awesome guests here with us today, and I want to be sure to go ahead and say hi and howdy to all of them, and let them have their moment, tell everybody who they are. So, going around, Eloy, do you mind going and starting us off?
Sure. I'm Eloy Lasanta. I'm the owner of Third Eye Games, as well as co-owner of New Agenda Publishing. You've probably heard my name or played some of my games, Part-Time Gods, and our new game O Run, which is coming out pretty soon. PDF's out, but we're waiting for prints to come in. Uh, I'm excited to try out John's game because he plays Ninja Crusade, which is a game that I designed on his channel on Passionerdly, and I'm excited to actually be able to play in a game because obviously I listen to it, so he runs a good game. But now I get to be a player, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for
Also, I want to
coming.
see your T-shirt.
Oh, so this is my T-shirt. We have a series of T-shirts that are out for this game. It's called it's Gutterpunk. You can go to my website at Passionerdly. Uh, if you don't mind the interruption, really quick, all T-shirts go. All the proceeds past what it takes to make the T-shirt goes directly into charities. I don't see a penny of it. This one goes to Make Food Not Bombs for Myanmar. We also have one that is a gentleman saying apathy is a bad look, and that one goes to the Okra Foundation. And we have another one which I can't remember right now. I think it says Yeet the Rich rather than eat. So each one of them goes to a charity. I'm an old school punk. I believe in taking action and doing things. I look at people like Joe Strummer from the Clash with the Joe Strummer Foundation or Henry Rollins. Both guys who believe that if it's about doing something. Society sucks. Let's step up. So that's even before my game is out. I'm trying to do this. That said, please don't purchase my shirt uh, unless you really want to, unless you want to use this to help get word out for causes. I would rather the money go into the causes if you have the time. And there is a link on passionerdly.com for you to be able to go and give to the charities. But that said, let's keep going. Next up, let's go ahead and have Jessica. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me.
There we go. Now
Now
we
we
hear
can.
you.
Oh, okay. My name's Jess. I am a game designer, indie game designer. I've also made a punk game called Moonpunk. You can find out about my games at wannabegames.com. I am really excited to play John's game. I love the system you got going. I'm excited to see it in action. So
Thank you.
that's all I want to say right now. Oh, I guess my only major punk cred is number one. I made that game, and I'm also a delegate for the International Industrial Workers of the World. So, um, join a union.
Hmm. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and have Wes.
Hi, I'm Wes Otis. I am a producer of 12 Sided Stories. We do a lot of different actual plays that are completely edited with sound effects and music in the whole nine yards. I'm actually a sound designer myself. Um, or to go along with good causes, I recently put out a PDF. It is free. It's called Resolve Checks. It replaces older games versions of sanity checks and insanity and anything that's kind of, maybe a bit ableist. We got rid of all of that, and we've replaced it with things that everybody can focus on. It's on Drive-Thru RPG, and like I said, it's free. You can just download it, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's pretty cool. So that's it for me. I'm done.
All right. And definitely last but not least, John.
Hey, I'm John Hambone McGuirre. I am the co-producer and co-host of the Vintage RPG podcast, among like 19 other podcasts that I'm on. I'm also the co-creator and game designer of 321 Action. We just completed our first Kickstarter for Rocks of the Russia, so that's going to be out soon. I don't have any charities to plug. I'm just going to say be nice, everybody. Be nice.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this. Thank you guys all for coming. I wanted a cast. I mean, they kind of mentioned it. I'll touch on this, but I wanted a cast that had something a little bit to do with punk and a little bit to do with music. And so everyone on my cast here has had something in that way. Definitely tossing out there. Eloy has recently released an album. It is Strays of the World. So you need to plug that, man. But definitely go out. It's on Bandcamp, and you can also find it on iTunes and other places to play it. Go out there and give it a listen. John McGuirre is also from a country punk band called Secret Country and has played
Oh yeah,
in other bands in the past. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I've been a lifelong musician. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
I've been around.
Yeah.
And Wes, if you he mentioned 12 Sided Stories, but I also want to definitely mention Plate Mail Games, which has its stuff up on Drive-Thru RPG, and you can go get entirely soundscaped stuff for your games to play in the background. That's one of the things that he does.
Yeah,
And
I forgot to mention, I've got like 1,000 tracks or something up there. So if you need
yeah,
something, go for it.
and the dude's legit. I hope you don't mind me saying Wes, but the dude's legit. He was on sound design for Titan's Grave with Will Wheaton and has done TV. So go check his stuff out, seriously. And Jessica with Moonpunk is a absolutely wonderful game, and I love anything where we stand up to different structures and the different societies of our world.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
So that said, Gutterpunk. Gutterpunk is my brainchild, and it's the idea of a world that, taking the two words, gutter and punk. Punk is a social movement where we say that society doesn't work. It is sometimes out rebellion, sometimes it's trying to fix the things that don't work for us. At the same time, what is a gutter? The gutter is the boundary of society. It is the very edge of where society ends and it's no man's land. The gutter is where trash ends up, refuse, the things that we don't think about, the things that are lost, the things we cease to care about, but it's also life. There's life in the gutter and there's freedom in the gutter. This game takes place in a place called Gutter World, which is a kind of strange world that just is beyond the bounds of what we understand for ours. Punks of our world, while they're out one day, do something, wander through and find themselves someplace else, someplace where the sun doesn't touch the streets. There's a strange orange haze to everything. The buildings seem taller, stranger, curved sometimes. Denizens of this world, they're not human, but they are people. And this is where they find themselves. That said, I want to go ahead and let's get some character introductions going, and let's see how you found yourself in the gutter. Let's go ahead and start off with going in reverse order. John, you think you can tell us about your character?
Sure, my character is named Little Lamb. He's a bouncer. Primarily was a bouncer at a club called The Loop. He worked there for years, and he went on tour, little East Coast jaunt up and back. Came back in, and then The Loop was suddenly the lasso. So it went from a punk bar to a cowboy bar. Really didn't get on with the clientele. One day, got into a bar fight and had to cheese it out the door. Made it down a dark alley. Somehow ended up in Gutterworld.
Right. Next up, then. So, Wes.
My character's name is Frankenfist or Frank. I am a drummer. I am really into punk that has to do with undead. I'm just very depressed over that I lost my girlfriend recently, and I was in a graveyard at her grave, and I got drunk and fell asleep. And I woke up in this dark alleyway, and I was not in my world anymore.
Okay. And Jess.
Playing Janie Jones. Janie is a DIY freak. Won't buy anything, and does a lot of stuff involving that. And she found her way into Gutterworld by scoping out a construction site for some guerrilla theater. And while she was figuring out where they were going to build the stage, it just happened upon the world.
Okay. And Eloy.
And I am playing Magnifico, the wondrous guitar player slash background singer. He does a little bit of that. But he got to Gutter World because he got lost in a trance while playing a solo on stage. And he actually just while he was doing it, he kind of just walked off stage, and he was expecting the crowd to grab him and catch him, and they didn't. And he just fell off, and he just felt himself continue to fall until he landed on like a pillow made of guitars in Gutter World.
I like that.
Nice. Okay. So that said, the four of you have formed what's called a crew. Different powers, different activities in this game that are going to involve the individual, your crew, or the crowd. So individual effects affect only you. Crew effects affect the four of you. Crowd effects will affect everyone. So the four of you have banded together and have found a place somewhere in Gutter World that you can call your own dive, someplace that you can shack up and be safe for a while. And you hang out together. Maybe you're in a band together, but for the most part, it's just survival and enjoying each other's company. That said, it's been close to 3 days since your crew heard about a great concert coming up at a local dive called Spittles. Rumor has it a few of the hotter bands on the scene were playing, and someone scored a refrigerator full of food and booze. Everyone knew there was going to be a line, probably a cover charge too. And thankfully, you've got a back way in. Spittle sits about a mile away from the strip along one of the old dried up drainage channels that at a time in this world probably diverted some unnamed river. Most punks come out this way for the clear concrete that makes it perfect for skating and easy to see your enemy. At the top of an embankment off an older area called Charlie's Alley is an old rickety iron staircase leading up a long walkway suspended far above the channel. At the end of this walkway and behind a solid industrial door sits Spittles, so named for the pastime of hawking gobs over the edge onto the walkway where unwary punks and foolish people are dumb enough to walk under it. But once inside, it's kind of like a punk fortress. An old water treatment plant that's been turned into a club, with most of the mechanical apparatus ripped out. And one of the old water clarifier tanks has been carved and ripped apart. And different things like that sit around it. Now, like I said, you know a back way in. You're not going to have to stand in line. And one of you actually has graffiti doorway. Yes, Wes? Did you say something?
No, I'm cool. Go for it.
No worries. But one of you has graffiti doorway, I believe. Correct?
Yeah, Janie does.
All right. So, in this world, a graffiti doorway, think of it almost Looney Tunes. You paint yourself a little door or a little tunnel entrance, and you can wander straight into it and end up someplace else. The one requirement is that you have to know or have been to that place. So obviously this means that you have been to Spittles before. So you take the opportunity, paint your doorway, and step on through. And end up in this club where you begin to hear the sounds of everything around you. It's said that one of the older crews of Gutterworld operates this place. It's super secure, never been raided by the pigs. There are a few bars scattered all about the room, attended by bartenders in carefully cordoned off areas where moonshine stills sit and serve the local spirits. The smell of food wafts through the air, and the smell of real beef overpowers everything, including the smell of decades-old funk that is on some of the people here. But there's air chimes and a few ancient video game cabinets that can be heard throughout the corners. So welcome to Spittles. That said, as you're in there, the amount of people present, the tensions are a little high as everyone tries to make their way inside and get food. The opening tempo for this scene is going to be a 5. The way tempo works in this game is that players have stats that represent physical, social, or mental conditions, while I have tempo. Tempo raises and lowers based on the tension of the scene. A 5 is actually kind of normal. It's kind of level. But tempo can go as high as 11. Why? Because it's one higher than 10. So, yeah. That said, getting into the club, what are you doing?
I don't know. This place seems way too lively. There's way too many people here. What are we doing here?
Oh, come on.
Don't come on me. Tell me why are we here? Like what? I don't want to be around all these people.
So I call everyone in.
Well, we have to figure out how to get into the great concert. We need to figure out how to get the band into that, right?
Yes. I'll follow you all.
Hurt you to, think of it like, I don't know, everyone's got a skeleton inside of them or something.
True.
Imagine
Yearning
that.
to get out. I guess I can go with that vibe. It's just there's so many people here. Jesus.
So while you're here, there are things obviously you can do. You can look to buy and barter. At some point, people are going to be, hey, you want some food? You can trade anything you have on you, and you might have something small, simple. Everything in the gutter has value. Everything is done on a barter system. So they pass you a plate, and you have the opportunity to eat, which is, for real food and not something that you're dumpster diving, is a nice treat. But at the same time, there's the bands performing. There's the sound of the music. If you go by, there's one place where there's a water still. This huge tank that has been opened up, and inside is a mosh pit. People running in circles just to the music, and it's almost like if you ever been to an aquarium and you see like the fish swimming around in a big circle, and it's that look and the color of all the different punks, all their different patches and whatnot, and you just see this swirl that beckons you as well. But other than that, opportunities to see the stage, go see the moonshine, look at their hydroponics. Is there anything that you are going to do? Are you going to split up, or are y'all going to stick together?
I'm going to gravitate towards the mosh pit. So that's what I'm going to do.
All right.
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
6'5".
size up the band.
Sizing up the band? All
Yeah,
right.
the band that's playing. I want to size them up, see if they're going to be competition.
The band on stage is not bad right now. They're pretty average. You think that they probably got them on early. Uh, it's one of those things where sometimes it's like they expect more people, so they put on the smaller acts earlier on.
Yeah.
But they're not bad. They're not bad. Uh, that said, Frank, as you go into the mosh pit, what is it that you think is pulling you in? What kind of behavior you think you're going to exhibit while you're in there?
I think Frank is a bit of a masochist, so I think that he's really in there not so much to cause damage, but to absorb some, just because he feels disconnected from humanity, and that's the way. Sorry if this is too deep, but he feels more attuned with the world when he's in the thick of a mosh pit and slamming around a bit. So I'm not looking to hurt anybody. I'm just looking to feel like alive. Like that's an alive feeling is when you're in a mosh pit.
Okay. So in this game, as I mentioned before, we have certain stats that represent a physical, social, mental quality. And those stats are bold, loud, caustic, empathetic, or witty. Each one of those applies in different ways. And I feel like really line up a little bit better to a person's personality, and especially in situations. So right now, going into that mosh pit, I would say that you're being a little bit bold. You're not looking to be caustic and do damage. You're not looking to be loud and make a scene. You're looking to take it. And being bold is that when a punk stands up and holds up a fist to somebody, or or says, "Yeah, just try it, see what happens," kind of thing, that's bold.
Right.
And so let's go ahead. Roll your bold quality, and I'm gonna be rolling with the tempo.
Okay. And just so I'm rolling 1d6 so everybody knows, and then
Add your bold.
all right.
Yep. Tempo of the room currently is at a 5. And so I rolled a d6 and rolled a 1. So right now your difficulty you're against is a 6.
Okay, well, I rolled a 6 and my bold is 6.
There we go. So your total is 12. You definitely exceeded it. So it's almost as if you enter into that mosh pit and you become a part of it. It's like if they were the fish in the aquarium, you have now become a piece of coral that is slowly moving in the current, but not a part of it. And you feel their fists and you feel them moving against you, but at the same time, you feel all that, but it's not harming you.
Okay, cool. Awesome. That's exactly what I wanted.
All right. What about you, John? What do you think your character's doing?
So I'm huge. I'm like 6'5". I will not ever pass up an opportunity to eat, especially if it comes on a plate and not from a dumpster. So I'm hanging back, I'm eating, but I'm scanning the room and I'm keeping an eye on my crew in case anything goes wrong. I will not put down the plate, but I will charge in to help as needed.
Okay. And Jess, what are you doing?
Going to be okay. I need to know this first. What's
Yeah.
our band's name?
What would you guys like your band's name to
Good
be?
question. You're the singer, so a lot of the time it ends up being the singer's. Like it ends up leaning towards the singer.
Yeah.
Hard up putting them on the spot there.
I
Yeah.
feel like whatever it is,
Well, we're creative
Yes.
individuals, right? We're all creators.
Right.
We can do this.
Well, I mean,
DIY.
as also a creator, what would most likely happen in a band scenario is the lead singer would say, well, obviously we should call it this. And then I, as the lead guitarist, would be like, no, it needs to be this. And there would be like a whole back and forth about it.
All I know
until
is
we,
Frank and
you know,
Fist would be the last
compromise.
person you'd ask for a name. You'd be like, no, drummer, go sit down, and we'll come and let you know what it is.
Well, here in the Twitch chat, someone suggested DIY. Actually,
That's-
Quiet Gentleman. That
I kind of like that.
I love
actually.
that.
There we go.
So what
I
Janie's
kind of like that for a
doing?
real band name. Let me write that down here.
Janie's going around circulating and trying to tell people like, oh, you think this band is good, wait until DIY goes on stage. Like just trying to hype up our band before we get there. So maybe at some point people will start demanding that our band go on stage, even if we're not necessarily on the lineup.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're definitely not on the lineup. Like that's like Magnifico is essentially looking for the band that we feel like kicking off the stage and just taking their spot.
Lineups are just another hierarchy. So let's give that the boot. We're getting on there. In a prime time spot though. Not right away. You want to wait
Of course,
until
not right now, exactly.
Well, let's go ahead and say that there is a band you've had some run-ins with occasionally, or that the singer, who's pretty much known as Rat, and his band is called Ratskulls.
Oh, well, I know why I don't like them already.
Yeah. They're performing at some point, and you think that they'd be possible to kick and get your name in there.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
very cool.
As this is going on, I'm gonna also say that more people are coming in. It starts off at a 5, people are arriving, and the tempo in the room. Tempo in music tells us, the emotion. A low tempo is a song like a waltz. It's got that kind of slow feel to it. The higher the tempo goes, the more excitement, the more tempo in this room is now at a 7. So,
very cool.
You think that you might know who's running stage and could maybe barter something or go talk to them about getting your name on the list and just happen to forget about this other band.
I want to walk over to the
think
stage.
that I had a slightly. Go ahead.
No, I want to walk over the stage because I have checked the back line. So if I can slide my hand onto the stage, I could pull something out to barter with that might be like the object of this person's desire. Like, what do you need? I think I could find that. Here it is.
He says, Busta, if you can get me an RCA cable, I need an extra. We got a band that's got 3 guitarists coming up.
I know how that is. All right. So what do I need to roll for that?
So the thing is, with check the back line, I believe it is an automatic.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah, so I just reach into the back of the stage, reach into the side of the stage, and I just
he's like his eyes open wide. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Tell your people you're on in 30.
Cool. I gotta round everyone up.
Okay. That said,
too easy.
We're gonna have ourselves a little concert. So that means that you all need to start off with a riff. Neat thing, we have a drummer in our midst. He can set the tempo. That means that he needs to roll a series of dice. Now, this is a little bit of a different mechanic than most of the riffs that are going to take place in the game, but you need to roll 7 dice. So you need those 7 dice.
All of my dice, you mean?
Yeah. Here's the fun part. They need to be in numerical order. Obviously, you cannot roll one on a d6. You can't roll a 7.
Right.
So the thing is, you're going to need to split this up. So you need to set what your riff is, which is going. It could be anywhere from 1 to 7, but you could do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. A drummer, for their successes, the drummer always plays in numerical order, and they start off with obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, or
Okay.
whatever it is. But whatever dice you have left over, you need to arrange in that 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3 in this case to be a 7.
Okay.
If you don't mind me taking a little bit of a narrative control of that, go ahead and make
Right
it
ahead.
4.
Okay.
What is the style that you were playing? How do you looking at your character riff ratings? Are you being bold? Is this a bold song, a caustic, an empathetic song, loud or witty?
I'm going to say loud.
All right, starting off loud. The number that you have in your loud is going to be the number that you can adjust your pips.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, let's see how this goes. A lot of dice. All right. Ooh. Actually did okay. So I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 right out of the gate.
okay.
And
Right.
then I have 2 5s and a 3.
So you're going to need to adjust those with your riff ratings. Every score that you have in a riff rating allows you to change a dice 1 pip. So what is your loud rating at?
7.
7. So you said it was a 5, and a what?
A 5 and 5 and 3. So the 3's okay. I just
Yeah.
have to turn the other 2 to 2 and 1.
Mhm.
So
So that's 3 on 1 dice. So 3 expenditures to lower that dice to a 2, and then 4 on the other one, which takes up 6 points.
yeah, it's a lot.
So you're right
But I
there
do
on the
that.
edge.
Okay.
All right.
So, yep, that's what I do.
So the drummer kicks off the beat, and now the band comes in. Each one of you will need to play a riff, the same riff that is started by one of the other members. We're going to be going green. So in this game, and I'm going to really throw this out because this will affect the way a lot of the game runs. The magic in this world, the greater the effect, the more dice that is required. So if there's 2 that are in my quick start guide. There is going green and there's seeing red. Going green are positive effects. They are things like building, creating, flying, all these things that you can imagine that are good, that do not actually do harm. Seeing red does harm, removes the ability of a person to control themselves, erases memories, things of that nature. Seeing red is much harder. But going green, the score that you're looking for is 1, 4, and 5 on any dice. So you'll be able to adjust those, but you still have to roll as many dice as the riff rate. Or sorry, the tempo of the room. Tempo of the room is currently 7, so you're going to be rolling 7 dice.
Okay.
All right. Whatever you set the riff as is the riff that everyone else must play. And that makes this an overall good concert. But so who's going first? We'll make this easy.
So when you mean
well,
by whoever sets the riff, like we're playing
Yeah.
a loud song, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
great.
one person is going to play a set riff, which can be again any number 1 through 7. Let's simplify this for our first time. Let's say that you're going to play a 4-note riff. Any of those notes need to be like 1, 4, 5. And then it's going to need to duplicate. So if you're playing a 4-note riff and you say, let's go 1, 4, 1, 5, then you're going to duplicate it again for the next 3 notes in your riff. So that goes 1, 4, 1. And I'm going to explain this really quick. If you're out there watching in this for the difficulty, trying to understand this, all you need to know is 1, 4, 5. But if you are a musician and you hear 1, 4, 5, this is one of my cool mechanics. I hope y'all don't mind me discussing really quick. 1, 4, 5 is magic in our world. I'm not even joking. 1, 4, 5. If you had an elementary education in music, you heard or have seen the sound of music, you know do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Each one of those represents, if we change it and make those into numerical values, and instead it's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the notes in a scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. All of a sudden, we assign a numerical value to it, and we call it the Nashville method, because guys on stage can suddenly call out and say, hey, go to the 5, or hey, go to the 7. And they can tell the entire band with one numeric value what they need to play. 1, 4, 5 is, like I said, magic for our world, because so many songs for the last 1,000 years play it, use it in different arrangements. 1, 4, 5, Richie Valens' La Bamba. 5, 4, 1 is Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner. 4, 1, 4, 5 is Free Falling by Tom Petty. 1, 4, 5 is the Beatles' Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. If you are a big punk, though, 1, 4, 1, 5 is Blitzkrieg Bop. 5, 4, 1 is Anarchy in the USA by the Sex Pistols. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a game where you will be able to take these values, write them down, go grab a guitar or go grab an iPad and type it out, and you'll be able to turn what you rolled into a song. So anyway, I'm sorry I went off on my little digression there, but that is why the mechanics of this game are this way. Because it's like many other systems, you're trying to roll a very specific thing on a dice for it to be a success. So who wants to start off? And we'll demonstrate this really quick. So who's going to go for starting the riff?
Well, I was thinking, we have the starting riff, and I was going to build on that with...
you have a tempo
guitar
that
on
is
top
set by
of the beat. Right.
Yeah. So the drummer can play
and his
1,
is 1,
2,
2, 3, 4.
But
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
But it's not the same as the riff. You guys can do something different.
Exactly.
I'm just doing
the
the
drummer.
tempo.
Your riff cannot be longer, and this is the power of the drummer. Your riff cannot be longer than his bass play. So your riff cannot be more than 4 bass dice. So let's start off.
Okay.
Roll 7 dice.
So I'm rolling 7 dice, though.
Yeah. Roll 7 dice.
Okay. I got a 1, a 5, and a 4. So I did get those.
All right.
And then I got 2 3s and 2 4s after that.
All right. So let's go ahead and arrange that. Let's go 1, 4, 4, 5.
Okay, got it.
And that means you're going to need to repeat that riff, because he, as the drummer, has set how many that you can have in that original riff statement. And that is 4. So you have a block of 4 now. You need to repeat it.
Oh, okay. Well, and if we're doing a loud song, then I have enough. Then I have enough to do that, because I can bump one of my 3s up for 1, and I can bump my 3 down twice for that. So I have 1 4 4 5, 1 4 4.
There we go. Now every other player needs to do the same. So Jessica, your turn.
All right. So now I'm a very bad audio learner, so you're still gonna have to walk me through this. But I'm rolling 7 dice.
Roll 7 dice, and we're going to start off with the first part. You need to make a 1 4 4 5.
If I got a 1 1, 5, 1, 1, 4, 5. And then I got 2 3s. What did you say I needed?
So let's start with the first building block, which is that first 4 notes.
Yep.
So you need a 1, 4, 4, 5. Correct, Eloy?
1, 4.
Yes.
Okay, so I just need 1 more 4. My allowed score is only 4, so I can adjust 4 pips, right?
Yes.
So luckily I have 2 3s on hand, so I'm going to move 1 up to 4. So I'm going to take 1 of my points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now I have a 1, 4, 4, 5.
All right.
And I'm going to do another 1, 4. So I'm taking another one of my pips.
Yep.
I'll adjust that to another 4. So now I have 1, 4, 4, 5, 1, 4.
All right. Did
That
you roll
work?
7 dice?
Oh, shit. No?
Yeah. You need 1 more 4.
I have a 5.
You have a pip, you can adjust it?
I do, yeah, I can.
There we go.
Okay. As you can see, I can also not math. So there we go. I got a 1, 4, 4, 5, 1, 4, 4.
There we go.
Yep.
And then, John, it comes to you.
All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Five. All right, so I have 1, 3, 2, 6, and then 3 1s, but I have a 7 loud.
Yep.
So I bump one of the things up to things. So I got 1, 4, and then 2 more pips. That brings it up to 4, 5. So I got 1, 4, 4, 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 4 more pips that I can adjust. So
And you need a 1, 4, 4 on those last dice. Can you do it?
I can't do it. I can get 1, 3, 3,
All right.
or I can get
So you-
1, 4, 1, but I can't get 1, 4, 4.
All right. So here's the thing. The way it works, you didn't play a perfect concert. Not everybody met all the requirements, but 3 of your players did. The majority did. So you play a good concert. But everybody knows who kind of flubbed a note.
Wait a minute.
Listen.
No one
I select
no one
flubbed
flubbed anything. We were doing fusion jazz punk, and we hit all the notes we intended to hit. At least that's the way I'm going with it. So everything is fine.
Okay. As you get off the stage, though, more people have arrived. People are kind of jazzed. The audience has responded to how you play, and you are at an 8 for the tempo for the room.
Nice.
All right. That's when a figure kind of pushes his way through, almost too thin, long, spiked mohawk, and you, of course, recognize him as Rat. And he pushes his way through. Everybody walks straight up to you and is just like, "Hey, what are you doing here? You took my spot, didn't you?" And different members around him begin to walk up. You notice some more members from his band start showing up.
Seems like you were late.
Seems like
Not
you
late
were
at all.
irrelevant.
Ah, right.
And I'm just
Well-
on the side, like as soon as when he said that, I'm immediately laughing way louder than probably is necessary in Rat's direction. That would be me like caustic. Like I will make a roll if you need me to. I want him to know that how funny I found that and that he should feel terrible.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and start there. Make a roll with caustic. Whatever your caustic
Okay.
score is, add a d6, and he
Mhm.
is rolling with the tempo of the room.
Right, which is higher because
Yeah.
the highest thing we can even have is a 7, so
So
I rolled a 5 and I have a 6 in my caustic. So I
There
have
you
an
go.
11 total.
So room was at 8, and I rolled a 3, which is also 11. This is a meteor beat system, so you did succeed.
Yes.
So he backs up a moment with that. He's kind of thrown off his whole, edgelord trying to push his way around. It's just like, you think you're so tough. Let me, hey guys, and he tries to get his band to jump you.
Mm.
All right. I'm also going to tell you that the room responds, and the tempo actually raises again. So
Mm.
in this game, based on what's happening, it can become more tense. Two people arguing, especially arguing caustically or interacting caustically, can raise the tempo. So tempo in the room is now at a 9. That
I
said,
see this and I get right behind Magnifico and I look over his shoulder and I'm like, are these guys bothering you?
so combat in this game is fairly simple. It's a trade-off. You pick somebody to go first, and they roll based on what action they want to take, and I will respond with tempo.
Well, Lamb goes first. Lamb always
yeah.
goes first. That's what he does. He goes first. Exactly.
I lean over and I put my giant hand gently on Magnifico's shoulder and I just slide him out of the way. And I stand up and I look at Rat and I grab him by the mohawk and I want to just swing him and whack into all his dudes.
All right. In this case, I'm going to give you a choice of either this is a very loud action, you're being very loud. At the same time, aggressiveness with a purpose of intimidation, I can definitely call that caustic. So which one would you like to
Okay,
listen?
loud. I have a loud of 7.
All right, let's go for it. So you're loud of 7 versus the room tempo, which is now
Yeah, I
at
feel we've already just jumped ahead to the 3rd rule of Roadhouse. Always be nice. So it's time not to be. 13.
all right. So you rolled a 7, and I'm guessing you rolled a 6.
Yep.
So with the tempo, I actually rolled a 6 as well. As you reach out to grab him, you miss with the grab, and his head rams into your gut. You're actually going to take 1 point of damage.
Mm.
All damage in this game is 1 for 1. So,
Okay.
with you as our lead cinematic characters have levels of hit points. This game, they don't. They have tempo only. So your actions are going to raise and lower the tempo, and usually a single hit out one of the people fighting you, and then it becomes something else.
For rules reference here,
Mhm.
if he was to, pick up Rat and, try and swing him, and then if I was to, instead of allowing him to push me out of the way, I decided to go low as well, then that would have been, I could have added an additional die to his roll.
That is
Is that
correct.
correct?
So,
Okay.
yeah, teaming up is what it's called in this game, and it allows you to aid the action of another player and roll a d6 and add that to it.
And it's basically the only way that we can, beat that big of a tempo plus a really good roll.
Yes.
So, can you team up after the fact, though, or does it have to be during the roll?
Needs to be called ahead.
So
Okay, because otherwise I was about to jump on somebody's
so
back.
what we could do though, Magnifico, if you would just jump on his back and keep his head down, I can bring my knee up, and we can work together.
That sounds good.
Because if
Let's
his
do it.
mohawk's in the stomach of Lamb, then we can work together and do that. So
It's sharper than it
Okay.
looks.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Teaming up
So,
and
what's your
My
loud?
loud is
though?
7.
All right, so
right,
you
now-
roll, and I'll add an additional
Okay.
6.
And much like I'll point out with chakra system, where different situations and the way you describe it can change the attributes that you're using, you're also trying to be smart about what you're doing. So you could have also used witty. Just tossing that out there.
Okay. Well,
All right. I have a 6 in witty, but his 7 is still loud, so
And
we'll take the one.
my wit is not that high. All right, so here we go. So I'm just rolling 1 6 and I'm adding my 7, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 9.
And I guess adding a 2 to that, I was hoping I'd roll higher, but you get a 2 on top
So
of that.
total we got 11.
All right. And I rolled a 3, which puts him with current tempo. I'm gonna say that is still
It's a
1
12.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Even
Yeah,
he
with
sees
my
it
help.
coming
I rolled
and
badly,
moves
so-
out of the way. He wasn't really trying to harm anyone with what he was doing, so he just simply moves out of the way. You're not suffering damage at this point.
Okay.
But that said, next up in the round, who's doing what? The rest of the crew is now starting to approach. You got people angry with what's happening.
So real quick, Janie, I'm sorry. So Jess, my teaming up with him, that is my turn. I do not get a separate turn for myself as well.
That is correct. So now it's going to be
Correct?
Janie. Yes.
Okay, so then it's Jess's turn then. Yeah.
I am not a fighter. Not really as good as, for example, Little Lamb there. But I am very empathetic. I want to find out who else is the little person, like the small dude in their band, and I just want to it's like the fight isn't for us. I'm gonna take him out by getting him a drink instead, or her, or them.
Okay. Sure. It's probably going to be, it's always, I always love the unusual look of a small bass player. So we'll say that their bass player is this kind of smaller member of his band, and they really look like they don't want to be involved. But let's go ahead and get your empathetic roll on that.
For sure. Okay, so I'm rolling 1d6, adding the
Rolling
tempo.
1d6 and adding the temp. Adding whatever
adding
you.
my
Yeah.
empathetic.
Yes.
Cool.
I just rolled a 1 on the tempo of the room, so that is a total 10.
I got a 9.
He is not going to pay attention to you, but he's really also not getting involved. We're going to go ahead and start over on top of initiative round, and you can actually change it up. You can also choose to team up. So who wants to go first on the next round? Ratskull is definitely getting involved, and now you've got one person trying to square off with all of you.
So Rat's still involved, and his buddies are trying to get on to all of us.
I definitely think the team up method would work as long as we all roll much better than I just did. So, yeah.
I just rolled 2 earlier. I feel your pain.
Yeah. Lamb, you're our fighter. So what do you say?
So, how tall are you? Is everybody in the group?
I'm wider than I am tall. I enjoy eating as well and don't work out much. So I'm probably maybe 5'9", but pretty hefty.
Okay. Magnifico, how tall are you?
Probably he's probably on the shorter side, like 5'4", 5'4.5". He says 5'4.5".
I hunch down a little bit, and I want to see if you guys, when I get on this, we all lock arms and we do a wall of death, and we just charge at them head on.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Whole band, rugby style.
I was gonna ask John. Is the magic that we do? Can we just make it up, or is it just the kicks that we have?
Okay, magic in this world is the riff. And what happens is you pull out a spectral instrument and you tell me what it is you want to do, and we create a riff together.
I was wondering if there was a way that the fight could be a dance and that we use the music to win the fight. I'm making this stuff up. I'm seeing if that works.
It can. So the way this works, you tell me an effect that you want to do. So you want to affect an entire room and get them dancing. Is that correct?
Less so, less that, and more that I want to be completely in sync with the other people on my side of the fight. Almost
Okay, so
like
you want
we
to
are
almost.
moving in concert.
Okay. So we're going to say that you're inspiring your team. And
That works.
it's going to definitely fall in the going green because you're kind of beefing your people up.
Yeah.
Which here's where things get interesting. We need to ask ourselves, uh, how many people are you affecting? So
Okay.
past the first person, you have 3 people. So that means 1, 2, 3 people here. So that's 3 dice, at least base
Okay.
for this rift. How big an area are you trying to make the effect fill? And it's pretty much personal. So that's going to be
Okay.
no additional dice for that. How long is this effect going to go into effect?
Okay. For the length
And
of the
so,
fight?
all right. So fights usually last maybe 30 seconds to a minute. So you're
Yeah.
looking at every 30 seconds is another dice. So you're
Okay.
looking at a 4 dice riff. Now that said,
Okay.
that sets your base riff. So you have 4 dice in a scene right now that has a tempo of 9. So
Okay.
you need to make your
What if
4,
I wanted
4.
to if I Okay, if I wanted to affect more people, because we just got off the stage,
Mhm.
so I'm sure we have people on our side because we did a good show. Could I possibly not only inspire my band, but also bring others to our side?
Yeah. Well, let's change that up a bit. So you have
Okay.
4 people that you want to draw attention to and make people be like, hey, they don't deserve this.
Yeah.
So you're affecting 3 people beyond yourself. So that's 3 dice.
3.
Yep. Now you're trying to fill a whole room. And so that's
Mhm.
going to be 2 steps up from personal based on the rules. I have the guidelines in front of me.
Alright.
So that is
So then
now
6 dice.
5 dice. Well,
Oh, 5 dice.
3, 2, and then for a minute, additional 30 seconds. So you are rolling at a 6 dice riff starting, and then the other 3 dice will have to repeat it.
Okay.
So yeah, it can get a little bit confusing, but
Oh, I see. It's a 6 die riff, but the
Yeah.
tempo of the room is 9, so I'll have to have 3 more that will repeat it. Okay,
yes.
got it. Let's do this. Got it. All right, and we're looking for 1 5s and 4s.
1 4 5s.
So let's see. 1 4 5s. So, and is because I'm affecting emotion and whatnot, and I'm stuff like that. Is that empathetic?
Yeah.
Awesome, because that's my highest. That's what I was hoping.
There you go.
So, all right. So I have 1. Let's see, 4 4 5. All right. So I'm gonna move this 2 down to. Oh, actually, I need to roll the other 3 here. So I'm rolling 9 though, and then it's gonna
You're
be
rolling
6 and
9
then 3.
dice, and you're going to range
Okay.
a 6
Got
note
it.
riff.
Got it. All right. So,
And you, yeah.
Mm. 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 Got it. I was able to do it with a
So
couple
what do
of
we got
pips
off?
to spare. So I went 1 1 4 4 5 5, and then 1 1 4. It
There we go.
just so happened that way. I actually rolled a lot of 3s and 6s. So
There we go.
just I moved them about.
It's not
So
an
1 1
impossible
4
system,
4
but it
5
does take
5,
a moment
1
to
1
catch
4.
on. Yeah. There you
Yeah.
go. So the room changes energy towards you. I'm going to say
Mhm.
that it lowers by 2. The tempo in the room changes to 7 as hands and, people reach out, or arm reaches around Rat Skull, and pulls them away from you. And so
Nice.
the energy changes in the room. And here's the fun part. What does this look like? So, music in this world, it is the magic of it. And the magic is an expression of the person who casts it.
Mhm.
So, what does it look like? I mean, you can describe it however you want, with rainbows flying through the air, hearts suddenly appearing, whatever you can imagine. Uh,
Yeah.
it is your personal
Well,
expression.
Magnifico's kind of thing that he does, and he does this on stage, the crowd would have just seen it. But his skin is on the darker side. So what he does is this used to be his thing before even coming to Gutter World, is he would essentially paint himself with like black light stuff, so that if if the lights were a certain way, uh, then it would light up on his skin in a certain way. So since he fell through to Gutter World with that on him, now anytime he is actively using his magic and whatnot, the patterns and stuff all light up all over his skin, and they go and swirl all over his body
Awesome.
in a weird, like funky way.
Okay. So, of course, everybody sees that and it adds to the narrative of the scene. That said, they pull you apart, but as this is taking place, you begin to hear a riff as well coming along behind it.
Uh-oh.
So, as if controlled by otherworldly force, everything suddenly comes to a standstill. Even a few of the brawls that have broken out as a result of everything happening, people are stopping mid swing. And even the mosh pit comes to a sudden halt. From the stage, you see someone playing a riff on a bass. It's not just any riff, though. There's a quality to this riff that is unlike anything you've ever heard. This is what we call an ancient riff. A deep magic permeates the room, flowing through the crowd and through your crew. A riff so powerful that it causes everybody to stop what they're doing. Standing on the stage in a trademark black and white checkered pants, white stained sports tank top, and a purple mohawk is Johnny. Hitting notes in rapid fire pattern on their bass, Johnny just looks out of the crowd with a stern sneer. Johnny runs with the band, the Angels of Rage, and this is their dive, as in this club is theirs. Johnny calls out above the riff, I can keep this up all night. So stow the shit, fight's over. Respect for respect. As Johnny stops playing, the crowd murmurs back in affirmation the number one rule of the gutter: respect for respect. Johnny begins walking towards where the fight broke out and their well known sneer on their face. So, who wants to tell me what the fuck is happening here?
I think I look at the singer. Yep.
Hey,
I'm from New Jersey. We don't mark on anybody. Don't look at me.
just a little tiff between friends, Johnny. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want a scarf? I knit a scarf the other day.
Okay. Who started it? Who threw the first punch?
I honestly don't remember. Like Eloy doesn't remember.
Somebody calls out in the back, "It was Rat!"
Yeah, I seem to remember that.
Love it. I love it. I know for a fact that was not the case, but that's out of character. I know for a fact, though, it wasn't him. He didn't join until the second round, but anyway.
Okay. And Johnny
I
continues.
love that the crowd's on our side, though.
Okay, this is what's going to happen then. First, and she points over at Rat and it's like, "You've started this fight attacking guests here in our territory. That's done, and you're out for the night. Go home." Rat, of course, is like kicking the ground and is like, "Yeah, well, I didn't really want to be here anyway."
He finds a can that just appears and kicks it.
That's the magic.
That said, Johnny turns
he plays the
to
can.
your crew. There you go. Well, I know for a fact that you snuck in here. You kind of got caught now. You can stay, but I'm going to want to talk to you tomorrow for taking advantage of hospitality. I think fair trade's in order.
Seems fair to me.
Awesome. Enjoy the party. And they walk off into the crowd. Music starts back up. And night continues onwards. If you've ever been to a concert at a dive, it is an all-night affair. People enjoy the food, they enjoy the beer, they enjoy the company, and pass out where they want. Is there anything that y'all are going to be doing?
I think I'm just gonna follow suit. I'm gonna do exactly what you just said. Although I usually like to fall asleep on top of the large speaker, and I let the music soothe me to sleep. I know it's loud and but that's soothing to me.
It's the gentle, soothing vibrations of the speaker, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's you know. I don't know what you guys listen to for bed.
It makes sense to me. I've been at a concert where just to not have to be thrown around the room, I've had to wrap my arms around a speaker. So,
Exactly.
all right. So, is anybody else going to be doing anything else, or are y'all pretty much following suit?
I'm gonna find whoever it was that ratted out Rat to cover for my ass. I'm gonna buy them some drinks.
They gladly take it. And offered to let you hang out with their crew for the evening as well.
Works for me.
Okay. What
I'd
about
probably
Janie? Oh, sorry, Wes.
No, go ahead.
Janie's gonna do something nice for the venue itself. I'm sure that there's something that could be aired or improved or painted. That's what Janie will do.
Okay. Definitely plenty of opportunities for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And
Fix the venue's toilet.
oh, no kidding.
The worst
No.
kind of in the world.
All right. So, Wes, what about your character?
I am going to sit near whoever's doling out the drinks, and I'm going to drink as much as I can and talk their ear off about how the world is spiraling out of control and there's nothing you can do about it, and you don't matter. And I just sit there and do that until I pass out.
You probably start a little circle. Somebody probably carries a drum over and lets you just lament the world with them.
Right.
I just imagine he's like sitting there going like, "You don't understand, guys. The world is a vampire. It's sent to drain."
I should write these down. It could be a great lyric for something, but I won't.
Exactly.
What's the point?
They're all secret destroyers. I'm just
I could have
saying.
made so much money. God damn it.
Well, the next morning, as everyone untangles and pulls themselves out from whatever dark corner fell asleep in, looking around, you see piles of punks sleeping on every floor, space, or furniture. Looks like a drowsy post-combat scene. You make your way out and see Johnny perched on the edge of the walkway with a thermos of coffee. Steam and the fumes tell you that sweet nectar is the real deal. Always been an early riser. Ready to have that talk?
Yeah.
Sure, what do you need?
Yeah. Pours you each a cup.
Thank you.
So here's the deal. I've been in the gutter for a long time. Made a lot of choices and done a lot of things, only a few of which I regret. But I'm planning on leaving, trying to find a way back. But I can't go back until technically I'm whole. A few years back, I sold my smile at an offie. And to explain, in this world, everything is a commodity. You can sell your soul if you want to. Everything that you can imagine is available in the barter system. So this individual is saying they sold their smile.
Hmm.
Never really cared about it, and it bought my crew some medicine when our drummer June got sick. Anyway, you want to get square with us? I want you to find my smile and get it back for me. Hell, I'll even do you one better. You get me the smile and I'll teach you the riff I played inside earlier. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Works for me.
Your smile look like?
I mean, because I'm in it for the music, so I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I want to know the riff.
I want to
Like-
know it too. Yeah.
I'm just relieved you didn't ask me to murder somebody. I thought that's where this was going.
Hell
Murder,
no.
murder, murder. We're always back to that.
Rule number 5. Ain't worth killing, ain't worth dying.
See?
So, I sold it at an offie. It's a Max. It's under the Belltop Freeway Bridge. You make your way out there, he should have it, or he can tell you who he sold it to. That's all I want is I want it back. I'm not going with you. Got this place to run. Think you can handle it?
Definitely.
All right. So you make your way away from Spittles and back into the city proper of Gutterworld. So, leaving behind Spittles to the Beltrop Freeway Bridge, you've been there before, kind of? And even ever so often you can see it in the distance when you look between buildings and squint. But distances have a way of seeming closer here. Your crew avoids the roads, sticking to the more commonly traversed alleys of the gutter, with the telltale trash and graffiti and the garbage of discarded items of the real world, which is a common financial backbone here. That said, in the gutter, imagine everything that is lost, and not just lost, but forgotten, ends up here. It could be anything from a key for roller skates to batteries in a half discarded package. A car left on blocks. It suddenly just appears here. So the alleys are filled with decades and decades of this, and you walk on that. As you're going, do you think y'all are going to look through any of it, see if you can find anything worth anything?
Janie definitely would.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, I mean, I think we need to because I think that would be the first option for us to try and get the smile back would be to offer maybe something that's better than the smile. So if we can maybe find something, that would be awesome.
I agree with that.
Cool. Well, going around the group, let's those of you who want to search, go ahead and make a roll of 2d6 and tell me what the number is. And we'll go ahead and start
Am
off
I
with
terrible
Eloy.
that I just want to make everything into a riff? Like, like I want to start like the whistle while we work. Like, like we're searching for things. It's gonna be awesome. Like I wanted like everything is music to me.
I think someone needs to go.
You don't
through
have to
the-
though. I can just roll 2 dice. It's fine.
Somebody needs to go through and clip all of your little random music that you've been personally generating.
And just put them all together.
Yeah,
There you go.
I got a 7.
Well, I did roll. I just rolled 2 dice. I rolled a 6 total.
I rolled a
All
6
right,
as
so-
well.
All right. So, Eloy and Wes, you both find intact, as in still together with its top, empty bottle. So not even broken.
Hmm.
Good job. And then what was it that you rolled for Jess? What was that? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Then.
Oh, 7. Sorry.
Sorry, sometimes my mic isn't coming through. It's weird.
Oh, it's all good. It might be your latency on Discord. It
that's
might be cutting you off too quick.
Yeah.
But you
I'm-
find a chewed up notebook. Looked like somebody's dog ate their homework.
Sick. I can recycle this paper.
John, where are you going to be looking around?
10. Wow.
10. You find a USB microcord.
Wow.
Yeah, there's all kinds
Yeah,
of things that you can find here. And of course, what else ends up lost and never found and forgotten but USB microcords?
I mean, how many cell phones ago was this quote
Yeah,
from?
exactly.
I don't know, but someone might.
It's USB 1, right? The A.
Who
So-
knows?
While sifting through a pile of rubbish, and I'm going to go ahead and say, Wes, for your character,
Mhm.
a hand suddenly shoots out, clutching at you menacingly. And a series of squeals now can be heard from deep under the pile. Strange humanoid creatures resembling a cross between a rat and a man begin to emerge.
Hmm.
You've heard of capitalist moles before, a rare form of bolt's head in this world that burrows and nests in the alleys. It's said these creatures are highly territorial and attack anyone that dares enter their territory, and it looks like you just found one. One particular foul one in blue coveralls that has a patch that says Earl on the chest says, "Hey, they got our stuff!" And 10 of them begin to come out of the ground. We're going to go ahead and say the tempo is currently 8.
Oof.
Capitalist moles.
Capitalist moles.
I love that. That's
So
wonderful.
the neat thing in this world, again, you're rolling against tempo. I have monsters in here from pigs, the fuzz, the man, bubblegum fairies, things that are terms in our world. And you can create your own terms. You can create your own monster off the fly with your head and just go with it. And all you need is the tempo.
Cool.
So, all right,
I
that's
John,
it.
am I
actually
still
don't know what a bubblegum fairy is. Is that it? What is that?
So, in the world of Gutterpunk, a bubblegum fairy is literally a fairy. Eloy, you're from the South. You know what a mud dauber is, right?
I know what that one is. Yeah.
Yeah, a mud dauber looks like a wasp, and it lives. It gathers piles of mud together and makes nests, and they're not harmful at all. A bubblegum fairy does the same. It looks like a fairy, but it kind of gathers together the refuse from underneath desks and other things, leftover candy that ends up in the gutter. And so they're kind of a pest, but not harmful in this world. And a bubblegum
love it.
fairy is kind of what people call non-punk punks that show up to concerts. You know, the fashion punks from Hot
Oh.
Topic.
Oh, okay,
So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Though I will say it is now Magnifico's goal is to have one of those as a buddy, because that sounds awesome.
All right. So, that said, who wants to lead off? They are going to be charging you, looking to grab anything they can off of you, more than likely wrestle you to the ground and drag you under.
How do we just run away? Is there a runaway option?
Absolutely. You can always just say, let's get out of here and make a witty roll.
I mean, because we can't run. I mean, I know you can't run from capitalism. That's a thing.
I mean, maybe if
A
you
witty
start up into
roll?
the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, my witty's pretty good. I'd go for it, but I know I think
Yeah.
Wes had mentioned that he is not
Frankenfist is
necessarily
not
that
witty.
witty.
So
So I wouldn't
can
want to
always
just
team
leave
up
him
together.
behind or anything.
Remember, you can team up. Two of you can team up and say, let's get out of here and get away from them. They're in the refuse. Let's climb a fire escape. Something along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great plan. I say let's get out of here.
Okay.
If you want, I can roll, and then Wes, you can
Add a
team
6
up
to
with
you.
me.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So the
let's
tempo
do that.
was an 8, and I have rolled a 4. So mine is a 12 that y'all need to beat.
All right. So I actually have a 6, and I rolled a 6.
There
So
we
Wes
go.
is going to
I rolled a
put us
3, so
like
we're
way
good.
over.
Woo! Like -1. How'd I roll that?
All right. So you both run for the
That
walls,
would
the
have been
alley,
bad, but yeah.
jumping up, grabbing a hold of the fire escape, and pulling yourselves over and each other at the same time. What about you, Jess and John? What are y'all going to be doing? Is one of you? Are you going to try and act together as well, or are you going to go individually?
What's your wit, Jess?
Mine's my second highest score. I have a 6 in it.
You know, 6 out of 5. So we would need to team up for me to make it.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
Yeah. I like to hit things, but
Yeah. I mean, if you
Everyone
want to
else-
hit things,
everyone
I'll be
else-
here with you, but they're booking it. So
yeah, I mean, we could run. It's
Yeah.
fine.
think grab something shiny, throw it that way, and get out. So
Yeah.
I'm rolling.
All right.
Okay. Well, knowing what capitalists like, this could be either witty or empathetic, trying to use their emotions against them.
Didn't really help all that much. I rolled a 1.
All right. So I rolled a 6, which if we use empathy, I'm at a 12. If it's wit, I'm at an 11.
Well, Jess, you whose was the base for this?
Me.
And
I
you
mean,
said you're
I would use empathy if I'm. I guess if I'm like
yeah. So empathy. What's your rating in that?
7.
7. So +1 is 8. Plus what
8.
John rolled.
6.
All right. So that puts you at the 13, which gets you over them by 1.
Wait.
All right.
Nice.
So you both also run and clamber up onto the fire escapes. They, of course, are hurling insults and talking about your unfair tactics and everything else, and warn you never to come back this way again, and kind of burrow down back and away from you.
I spit on them.
I can't help but like be impressed that we have fire escapes in a place called Gutter World. I think that's pretty progressive with the safety. So I'm glad for that.
Rule number 1 is actually respect the fire code.
There.
I'm sure these clubs have capacity limits, right? So I have fire escapes.
Yeah.
I mean, also fire escapes, they're probably like rusted to all hell and falling apart, but you know, we made it, so it's all
1970s
good.
New York fire escapes.
There you go. All right. So you make your way finally to Max Offie, or that area. So Max Underbridge Offie seems to really stand out under the Belltop Freeway Bridge. In fact, it's unusual to really find anything out here except squatters and a few punks looking for scratch. The Belltop Freeway appears to be a road to nowhere. The elevated highway has no exits and no on-ramps. Those few punks who have found their way up there say it's kept in pristine order. Unused fashion and extends for miles off into the distance, where it merely fades out and seemingly never ends. The other side of the bridge is cast in perpetual shadows and seems to collect little in the way of garbage like the alleys do. You find Max pretty easy. It's an old 80s panel side van with a mural of a dragon up on blocks, with a few tents and canvas lean-tos scattered around it, and filled with to the brim with knickknacks. Mac, however, is a 6'5" cockroach. wearing a green shop apron and scuttling around, moving and inspecting his collection. His back is turned to the party as you walk up. His intent is pointing toward the group, though. He stands up, sighs contentedly, rubbing together four of his legs, and turns to face you and says, with a humanoid face and unblinking eyes, "Welcome to Max. Oh, now what are you looking for? Can I? Oh, punks. Can I interest you in guitar strings? I have lots and lots of guitar strings, tons of them."
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, that's not why we're here.
Oh. Maybe you would like souls. I understand that from your world, they are quite, they are quite sought after, and, well, people don't seem to care for them or take care of them, so they end up here. I have quite a good collection of those. Would you like a soul?
Can you have 2 souls?
Yeah, I'm always of the opinion that you can never have enough, and they work really good for flashlights in the dark. And he pulls out a glass, and it looks like little fireflies just flying around it.
Whose
Hey,
soul is that?
I'm really sorry about this. I just got an emergency notification on my phone about a tornado, and
Yeah.
the tornado siren is going off.
Oh,
If you need
no.
to take shelter, I understand.
Yeah. It's safe.
I will be right back. I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look.
No, please.
Okay.
I'm in Michigan and tornado sirens, but I'm gonna go look.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
No, please.
Be careful.
While she's gone, we can all digest the fact that we're looking at a 6'5" cockroach with a face.
I'm trying not to.
And unblinking eyes. I feel like he actually ripped that face off of somebody else, and he's just wearing it, which is why the eyes don't blink. That's how I like to imagine it in my own head. So,
Well, that said, offies, which is what this thing is called. An offie is an off-the-books store. And so it's literally a place that you can go and get anything you want. Bootleg tapes, things like that. So it is a thing that really exists in our world too.
So
okay.
I steal myself and
Um,
I just say, we're kind of looking for something less than a soul, like more of a smile. We're in the market for a smile.
Ooh, smiles. Those are kind of rare. Most people don't seem to really give those up too often. Maybe you would take. He pulls out a Raggedy Ann doll with a smile. This one has a
Oh.
smile.
Also probably has a knife somewhere. I was looking for something more along the lines of like, I don't know. There's a punk that we really look up to. We heard he sold his smile. His name's Johnny. Anything like that?
Johnny, yes. Oh, I haven't seen them in quite some time. They say
Yeah.
you're looking for the smile?
No, he mentioned it offhand and we thought it'd be cool to own it as like a, like a poster or
Ooh.
a souvenir from a band kind of thing.
Memorabilia. I should have
Right.
thought of that. Unfortunately, I will be honest, I did sell it,
Oh,
but I can tell you who I sold it to.
that would be great.
What you got to trade?
What do you want? I have some bottles here that you could put more of those souls in, you like.
Ooh. That would be nice, and I could actually move the souls over and double my profits. Yeah, that sounds wonderful. How many bottles do you have?
We have 2 bottles, I believe. I'm sorry, John, what were you going to say?
I'm gonna ask because I'm looking around the offie because let me just tell you, I can't look at the thing straight in the face because it's a giant cockroach wearing a dead skin mask. It just showed me a creepy doll. The only thing to me could make this any worse is if it starts talking about itself in the third person. So I am looking around, and so it's an offie. It's an off the book store. Is there like a tower of like cans built or like a little staging area of like paper towels and other knickknacks and bric-a-brac, if you
Oh yeah,
will.
absolutely.
So technically, he does have little stages built for his wares that he's selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's into bottles, I am gonna, without looking at him, gonna be like, how many bottles do you want? Like over my shoulder. Like, how many bottles does he want?
Oh, um, either 6 small ones, 4 large ones, or if you can find a jug. Ooh, I'd let it go for a jug.
I'm still looking over my shoulder, and I shout out to Magnifico. I'm like, Magnifico, Magnifico, come here, come here. So I call Magnifico
I come
over. So I am gonna check the back line against the little stage that's built for the products and get a jug. And I asked Magnifico, I was like, could you just take it over? Because I'm gonna go throw up outside. So I reach, I grab the jug, I give it to Magnifico, and I quickly walk towards the door and I throw up outside.
Okay. So,
Nice.
Magnifico.
I am going to negotiate, since we're giving him a jug and we were able to find an amazing jug. I am going to see if I can convince him to give me one of those souls as well.
I claim that the jug is a Kafka jug.
There you go.
Very
See?
special.
Even better.
Kafka. I've never heard that.
It's
Hey, welcome back.
incredibly
Welcome back.
rare.
Hey!
Sorry.
Everything okay?
Oh yeah, everything's. I mean, for right now, apart from you can hear the air raid siren going off. But it will probably be fine. But I'm putting on shoes just in case I have to go down to the basement. Sorry for messing up your whole like interface there too for a while.
No.
Nah, you're good.
Charge your phone as well.
So I was thinking either a witty or an empathetic, because empathetic could be like I'm trying to, play on the fact that he really wants the jug. So if we mess around and say how great the jug is and stuff, we can up its value. I don't know if that's witty or if it's empathetic.
I would say witty. Now, just to catch up, Jess, really quick, could you hear us, or do I need to catch you up really? I mean, you left off hearing about the souls in the jar, right?
Yeah, that's where I left off. I wasn't able to hear you. I was checking the weather.
Okay.
No
problem.
You can just
so
imagine that Janie was like browsing the wares or something, and she was kind of out of it.
They had offered some bottles to store the souls in, and he was like, "Ooh, that sounds great! I could spread out my souls across multiple jars, and double my profits."
Yeah.
So they then went and now have found a jar using one of the kicks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Or a
giant
jug, I
jug.
should say.
Yeah.
And so Magnifico is going to make a witty roll. Tempo right now is a 5. So it's a
Okay.
very simple, low tempo. I rolled a 4. So we're looking at a total 9.
I rolled a 3, which gives me 9 for witty.
There we go. It's a meter beat system. So you have met the difficulty. Oh, sure. But how are you going to carry it? And he hands you hands you
I have
over
my
to-
own bottle.
Oh,
I have my own bottle because Wes gave his, but I kept mine. But that he can empty the soul from his bottle into mine, so he's not losing a bottle.
sounds great. And he reaches in with, kind of a bottle brush arm that literally goes into the bottle. Pincer grabs a hold of one of the souls, pulls it out, and sticks it in your jar, and lets go.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Well, that said, I did say information. So I sold the soul to a Mr. Inks Splatter. I believe that he has a tattoo parlor. It's called Ink Splatter Tattoo Parlor. And it is directly off the strip.
All right.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for the jug. I hope you come back. And if there's ever anything you want to sell, let me know. Don't forget, I do have guitar strings.
Yes, I'm definitely coming back for those. And I shake each of his hands that he.
I do not. I just
That
walk away slowly.
said, so we have been gaming now for around about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go ahead and let our producer know that we want to go ahead and do a break time. So we're going to go ahead and take a 10-minute break. Let everybody hydrate, go use the restroom, get some food if you need. 10
Shelter
minutes.
from a tornado, just the normal
Shelter from a
bio
tornado.
stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for word back from her. Here we go. All right. So we're on break.
And go.
All right.
Okay.
You're good. See y'all. All right. Well, welcome
Hey.
back. And it is our mid-time seance. I hope that you all can hear me. I'm going to briefly go over where we left off while chat lets us know that all's good. So, when we last left off, our crew here had gone to a concert and scored some food. During which time they met up with some rivals who they stole a show from, and the rivals tried to jump them or something along those lines. At least that's what is believed. But
Allegedly.
allegedly, but the lead singer, or at least the bass player of a band called the Angels of Rage, has sent them on a quest. They are looking to get their smile back and then will have the opportunity to learn uh, a ancient riff. Ancient riffs in this world are riffs that defy the standard makeup. They are common riffs that guitarists use. Honestly, I'm just going to toss this out. Like the ancient riff that she is referring to is just playing seven over and over and over and over. Because in music, playing the seven before that one, it builds up anticipation and everybody just kind of pauses in a literal concert. Everybody's like, okay, when are you moving on? It actually is a real music thing, which this game, everything that's in this game uses musical terms. And I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has about that. Check the backline is a real thing, which John has used twice in this game. So
Very handy.
I don't know if you've ever had that happen at a concert, John, where it's just like, hey, where'd the microphone go? Check the back line.
Yeah, it's usually the ground pin on my plug, but yeah, stuff disappears back there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So that said, you are all on your way to ink splatters, and we're going to be moving the tempo and the pacing up of the game a little bit because real life happens and players who I'd rather them be safe and getting on to their other things they need to be doing. So we're going to be playing for about another hour, everyone. But that said, pulling that up really quick here. Ah, it would be helpful if I had turned all my screens back on when I got back, right? So, following the instructions from Mac, you arrive at Ink Splatter's Tattoo Parlor. It is a classic, clean looking parlor. You see a series of chairs and tattoo guns with boards of tattoo designs available all over the wall. Uh, a few normies watch as one of their friends sits in a chair with a bolt head tattoo artist working and drawing a series of symbols and words onto their arm. When the tattoo is done, the bolt head lazily says, "Done." And the normie stands up and giggles while showing it off to their friends, who watch as the tattoo slowly fades, and the normies all applaud and cry out to the bolt head, "Do me next." To explain for my players and people, the vast majority of the denizens of Gutterworld are these almost zombie-like creatures called norms and boltheads. Uh, a norm is a imagine 1950s ads, like the famous Coca-Cola ads or anything else, where people's bodies proportions are overly exaggerated and perfected, and there's a beauty to it. To some extent, we can talk about like the pinup girls of the like 1920s through the bomber area. Uh, that kind of style of art moved into the 50s and used largely for advertising. Uh, kind of a hallmark of advertising in that time period through a lot of different things. Uh, overly clean, sometimes overly sensual, overly white. Uh, and the thing is, take that understanding, those proportions, that look, and a normie on top of that. If you have ever seen Black Hole Sun, the
Mm-hmm.
music video, there's that moment in that music video when their faces start to distort and their eyes get bigger and their smile gets wider. Add that kind of shark tooth grin to the face, and that is a norm.
Nice.
A bolt head is a lot like that, and they're referred to that way, kind of for a Frankenstein-esque way. They live very simple lives with simple desires and simple thoughts. A bolt head, they get up, they go to work, they eat lunch, they go home, they eat again, and they go to bed. They have a very simple routine, and as long as you do not disturb that routine, they're not your enemy. But that said, uh, it's not an unusual experience to see these denizens, and you're no doubt uh, aware of their existence. Uh, So, kind of the caricatures of everything, and a little bit zombie-like behavior, except from the norms. And you're guessing, looking around, and also with the name, this bolt head is probably Ink Splatter. The moment the norms notice you walking in, they begin to watch you and appear uncomfortable. And after a few moments, they stand up, pay Ink Splatter, and prance out the door. Ink Splatter looks at your direction and then points at the chair. Sit.
I'll take a tattoo for the team, so I'll sit down.
There you go.
Better you.
And begins number and points at the wall. You notice there's
I look
numbers
up.
next to everything.
Okay. Is there something appropriately undeadish up there, like a vampire or something like that, or
Sure,
zombie or
there's that. There's also, I mean, every classic tattoo design. There's of course the skull with the dagger shoved through it and a little bit of blood dripping down it. All those classic designs that have been around for God knows how long. But yeah,
right,
there's
like
going to be
American
skeletons and things.
traditional kind of
Yeah,
stuff? All
absolutely.
right, so yeah, I'll go with that then. I'll go with the skull and the dagger.
Okay. And he pretty much just starts tattooing you, not really talking or anything.
While he's getting tattooed, I'm also going to look at the wall to see if there are any, for example, smile designs, possibly.
Hmm.
Uh, Nothing that you see necessarily. There is going to be like the overly wide smile. Again, very common tattoo that was seen. Sometimes there are some that are like the overly done lips, like the kiss lips. But by and large, you don't see anything like that on there. Uh, and he continues to tattoo you, and after a few minutes, he just is like, done. And looks over at the rest of the group. You want tattoo?
We're actually looking for something else. We heard from Max over at the freeway bridge, the
The
Beltway Bridge.
offie. The
Yeah,
offie. Max's offie.
yeah, Max Zoppy, that you bought a smile off him.
Smile. It is husband's. Next.
Oh, he's really no selling us hard.
I'll sit
Wait.
down in the chair.
So, actually, hold
Sure.
on. I'm gonna sit down in a chair.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna. Well, actually, hold on. I don't think I even need to sit down in the chair. I'm gonna use. So what? Here's my plan. Is I would assume that if this guy, or the what is it? What was the name
Bullet
again?
head,
Ink
Ink
splatter.
Splatter.
ink splatter.
Mhm.
So Ink Splatter. If the smile is now their husband's, so we just need to find out what their address is, essentially, and then we can go to their house. So what I can do is, so that you aren't detected, I have solid lick. which is actually kind of similar to the ancient lick that we're going to learn, but it's something similar to that. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And I'm just going to hold his attention. I'm going to hold their attention on me while they go off and do the snooping for an address that we can follow up with their husband.
Okay.
There's no roll or anything. It just says it happened. So
All right. So you actually do know the ancient lick. That if you actually get into the book, which it describes, you know this ancient riff, and it is a 7. You're going to need to roll 4 7s. Now, you're rolling a d6,
okay.
so you have to buy up the pips to 7 4 times.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, does it for this, would this be witty, or what would this be?
You're trying to be witty, I think. You're
I think
definitely
so.
trying to use your brain
Okay.
about this.
Now, can I help out Magnifico by doing like a beat or something with my foot or something like that to keep, like, can I help out at all?
Riffs don't usually team up, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried.
Yeah. Hey, it was worth it. It was worth a
Yeah,
shot.
absolutely.
All right. So then, what's the tempo of the scene?
Tempo is a 5, so you're looking at rolling 5 dice, buying up to 7.
I mean, we can try it. And I need to do that how many times? 4?
Oh well, so it's a 4-note riff of 7 7 7 7, and then
Right.
obviously you have to roll that 5th dice and buy up to a 7 as well. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
It does. We'll see how it works.
It's hard, but it's a superpower.
Yeah. I mean, it would be. So I can do one. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it 4 times.
Okay.
I got 3 times. I got 3 times and then a 6. But yeah, no thing. Oh, but hold on. So I also have jamming. So
Okay.
I can actually,
Jamming
even though this
is
is a failed roll, I can now just make a social check to convince the target that this is actually what it's supposed to sound like.
Yes.
So I can do
I was
that
just
apparently.
jamming, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just jamming. Just pay attention anyway. So okay, so you said it's a 5. So if I'm doing this, I guess it's also probably witty.
All right. So I rolled a 1, so that's a total of 6 on my end.
I also rolled a 1, which would be a total of 7, but still means I won. So.
Yes. So he just sits there and cocks a head. He's like, pretty music. All right. So is everybody going to start checking the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With as hard as that is, I'm glad I took jamming as a secondary power, because that's totally hard. But if I can just convince you that it sounded good, then I'm down.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody go ahead and you can either team up, but pretty much it's going to be a fairly simple test. Probably everybody's using witty. So
Okay.
I rolled a
And what's the
3
room
on the
number?
scene's tempo, and that's at an 8. So total.
8.
It's witty. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Finally.
I was gonna say, as long as Janie doesn't roll a 1,
I
then
got a 10.
you would have gotten it. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You find the address, and it lists the same address as this building, but with the number being 1 level higher. So he has a apartment above his store.
I'll just do one of these to Lamb. Hey.
Got it.
Well, do it to me too, so I know that you guys are going, and I can just keep playing until you get back. So
Yeah, I'll do it outside of the view of the bolt head there,
Yeah.
Mr. Mix Ink Splatter there.
So we're gonna head upstairs.
Okay.
Turns into classical
Yeah.
gas.
You go up a set of staircase behind, of course, a bead curtain.
Of course.
Of
Of course.
course. And there is a door at the top of the staircase. You're definitely guessing this must be the apartment. Uh, Pushing it open, though, you see a normie standing there. He's in a tan cardigan and wearing black pants. And he turns and looks at who all would come up there.
I think the rest of us.
Jamie.
I think
Oh,
it's everybody but
And,
me. Yeah.
Okay, he turns and looks at you and says, "Hello? And what are you doing up here?" And he's not grinning right now.
Mm.
mm.
Hello. We're Mr. Splatter, Mr. Ink Splatter.
Yes.
Uh,
we were told you had a item that we were curious about possibly trading for.
Oh, okay. What are you looking for? And now their smile comes. It's that wide, you know,
Mm.
almost shark-like smile.
Well, we were looking for a smile that your partner gave you.
Oh, well, it's a little worn out. I like to wear it when we go out for Italian food, but I think I might be willing to part with it for a price.
What price
You're
would that be?
punks, right?
Yes.
Look, I want to go out. Now, not just anywhere. I want to go to the strip, and there's a new club there. It's very gauche. It's called Thrills by the Ton. Take me to the club, go with me, get to hear the music and hang out. At the end of the evening, the smile's yours. How's that sound?
So, real quick aside, in this world, what would it really take to get a normie to go to a club like that? Like, do they do it like in old New York where they would show up and they would go to like the clubs to kind of
Oh,
just
yes.
see what's up and then say they went?
Slumming it.
So,
Tourist.
clubs to a gutter punk, there's two different scenes. There's the club and then there's the dive. The dive is where you live as a punk. It's that opportunity to play music and be around other punks. It's it can be anything from squatting to a warehouse to a rave somewhere, while a club is an opportunity to kind of make a little bit of money. Usually, it's a lot safer. It's on the strip. It's someplace entirely legal to play, and norms like to go there. And you are kind of seen as almost a commodity. The opportunity to go to a club with a punk might be kind of fun.
Right.
So now, obviously, a bolt head would never go to a club, which is probably why this one wants to go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'll just grab it and we can go ahead and go. So, that said, let's see. Sorry, pulling it all up here. So, they come downstairs and he's just like, "Oh, you're still here. Oh, and you've got a friend, Ink. They're going to go with me to a club. I'll see you later. I'll cook dinner." And kind of motions for you to follow out the door. And you hop in an SUV and drive off.
Well, I say to the
Opportunity
tattoo
cost.
artist, I say, you've been a wonderful audience, obviously, before I leave. And I thank them, and then I jump in the SUV. Yes.
Come back. That's it. You arrive with the normie, and arriving with the normie has its perks. You get to ride comfortably in a clean car. And when you arrive at Thrills by the Ton, you and Inksplatter's husband exit the vehicle onto a red carpet to the catcalls and whistles from onlookers. You quickly hurry into Thrills by the Ton and are greeted by a cacophony of sounds and smells. And Gouch doesn't even begin to describe this. From ceiling to floor, it is illuminated in pastel tie-dye, blacklight paint. Between that, the sweet yet musty smell of a barely touched, all-you-can-eat buffet, and the chaotic sway of the crowd's movements, it kind of leaves your head swimming. There are a few things to lean against, and the majority of the floor has been cleared for dancing, which is currently just overran by a mob of normies, wearing a mixture of fashionista and even punk trends. And there is a band kind of performing unseen on the stage behind a curtain. Mr. Inksplatter looks over and says, "Isn't this the best?" He explains before disappearing off into the club. You can take a drink from the tray. There is a waitress walking around in a glowing pink leotard, and you might as well settle in for a long night. That said, so what do you think you're going to be doing while you're here?
I
Eating
know what
good
I'm
food.
doing. I eat a little bit of food, but then I'm checking under the tables for possible bubblegum fairies.
Give me a witty roll. I'm going to say the scene's tempo is currently at a 6. It's not the lowest, but it's not like it's dangerous.
All right, I only rolled a 2, which would give me a total of 8.
All right. I did roll 6, so that's a 12. Yeah. Sorry, bud. You don't really see any here. In fact, the undersides are very clean.
I was gonna say, if there's even the rip, there's two things, right? If it's really, really clean, that could mean that there's just a very efficient bubblegum fairy around here. Because if there was a bunch, then then they would move. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm keeping my eye open. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
But I spend a considerable amount of time doing that. So while what is everybody else doing? Because that's what I'm doing.
Jenny, you said you were eating?
Oh yeah, there's an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I'm not paying for it. Great.
Awesome.
So I grab a couple wings at the buffet and I walk towards the stage. I want to do two things. I want to peek behind the curtain to see who's playing, but at the same time, I'm going to use my special ability, check the backline, to reach in and pull out some Ziploc bags so I can load up my pockets from the buffet for later.
Smart.
Love it.
All right, and Wes, for your character, what are you doing?
Um,
Other than living in dread of all this.
yeah, this is punk hell in my opinion. I'm like, oh my, did I die? So I guess if there's booze, I'm probably drinking it, and I too will hit up the buffet. And I don't have the wit to think about going and getting plastic or something to put stuff in, so I'm just shoving food in my pocket as I'm going down, and not being like sly about it at all. I'm just like grabbing stuff and like, oh, this is very nice. It's all you can eat. Great. I'll just take this back to my table, make my way down. But I am looking around as well just to see where I'm going to say Mark went, or where Mr.
Mr.
went
Splatter?
to. Ink Splatter went to.
He is currently doing his best imitation of the pogo on the dance floor.
Oh, oh God.
I love it how you guys are all pigging out, and I'm like, I like grabbed like a breadstick, and I'm just munching it while I'm looking under tables, like.
I'll take Ziploc bags you can eat later.
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna enjoy the music. I'm like, Wait, I wonder who is playing.
That is a good question, and the band isn't bad. It's some pretty standard lo-fi punk riffs that you do recognize.
Uh-oh.
But it looks like the stage, like I said, has been cordoned off, and it's a less than tasteful tie-dye drape over it. Seems to swaddle the stage, and you guess it's so dancers can remain the center of attention, and no one has to acknowledge the musicians. Uh,
I want to find out who it is.
I think I know
yeah,
who it is,
Yeah.
too.
I peeped.
peeking around the thing as you use back, checking the back line. Rat Skulls is currently on stage.
And you
Quite.
said there's a bunch of like stuff covering them up so they don't have to see
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really great if that whole thing came down on top of them. Everything, just all of the sheets and curtains and everything. We could literally swaddle them themselves.
We need a camera. We need proof.
Hold on.
There you go.
I got a Polaroid.
Cool.
Oh, can you use that more than once per scene? That's cool.
Yep. It has to be a mundane item. That's the
okay,
one rule.
gotcha.
So
Yeah, we need the proof that Rat Skulls are playing in this venue. Now, don't make sure that you're not in the frame.
Well, I mean, I give you the camera. Do we want to team up and yank the thing down and then you take the photo?
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
But make sure you get it at a distance so they can see the crowd and the whole,
Logoing dance and
use the music.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
the entire
I feel like
ambiance.
we've seen different Disney musicals. You guys are going Carrie, and like this is not the direction I would have gone in, but you guys do your thing, man. That's awesome.
We're not pouring blood on anybody. We're not making the rafters or sandbags fall to kill them. We're just
Making it very hard for the music to
little reveal.
continue.
I love it though.
all right. That said, current scene tempo is a 6, and are y'all teaming up, or is one person specific rolling? And what is the effect you want to do?
I'm
Oh, yeah.
gonna follow Lamb's lead with pulling down everything, and then
And then whatever
So,
Janie's
yeah.
doing, I'll help out Janie.
Yeah,
Janie's taking the photo.
I'm gonna get high and back as possible while still being able to get the stage in frame.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll help out with that in terms of like framing it and helping with the cinematography of the picture that we're about to take.
That's
gonna be great.
Yes.
Witty for the photo, and that'll be one team up, and then y'all are trying to pull down the curtain on them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so loud.
Yeah, definitely loud.
All
So
right.
curtain first and then picture, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so the first test I rolled a 1, so that's going to be a 7 for the total on that one.
Nice.
Second one I rolled a 4, so it is a 10 needed. So what did our first team get?
So my loud in the roll puts me at 12.
And I rolled a 5, so
And then
17.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Not only
All
did the curtain come down, the whole thing came down.
Fuck you, lights.
All right, and you snap your perfect photo.
What did we get? What did we get?
I got a 4 on my actual die, and my
Yeah.
Witty's a 6.
Yeah.
So that's 10, and I had a 4, so that made it 14 then.
Yeah.
Just like smack dab the Rat Skulls logo on their drum.
The norms all begin applauding. They're like, "Oh, that's great. Let's see what they're doing." And they all run up the stage and start knocking down everything. They're tossing the drums. They're knocking down the speakers.
Oh,
And yeah,
That's-
it is. Everybody.
does that mean it's
and
no longer cool to do those things? Have they just ruined it for everybody else?
yeah.
I am gonna go with the flow, and I am going to be flipping all the tables that I didn't get a chance to look under, so that I can also look under those.
Okay. With the chaoticness of the scene, tempo is racing to an 8.
Mm.
But go ahead and make your witty roll.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Uh,
just shaking the Polaroid in the background.
I rolled a 4
Waiting.
on that 8, so that
Oh,
is
so
a
that's a
total of 12.
12. Oh, so there's
Yeah,
no way I can even. Well, if I roll a
there's a
6, then I
chance.
could beat it because I have a 6. So only on a 6 will this win. All right. Wait, no, that rolled under there. What did I get? No, I only got a 3. That stinks. But no, oh, my jamming only works with riff roll. So yeah, okay, never mind then.
So I want to find Mr. Inkspot and be like, hey, you're never going to get a better night at the club than this. A deal's a deal.
I agree. You brought down the house. And hands over a bag with a smile in it.
That's
I
awesome.
cannot thank you enough. This has been absolutely wonderful.
I lean over and I say, the food's great here. Anytime you want to come back, call me.
Yes. All right. That said, I guess you're beating a hasty retreat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually think that I might use Graffiti Door to get us right back into Spittles.
Ooh.
I will,
Nice.
let's just say that, yeah, Rat Skull pushes aside part of the tarp finally coming out from underneath it and sees you and goes, you, right as you begin to paint that doorway. And just to see if you can get away in the nick of time, let's go ahead and make that a roll. What are you doing? How would you describe your emotions as you are uh, taking this or doing this?
Little chaotic. Probably normally, I think Janie would take her time making the most beautiful door that she could, but this time it's just like a square with a little door handle. That's it.
Okay, so definitely, I think loud is the one for this one.
Wonderful, because that's my worst
So,
skill.
but I rolled a 1. Temp of the room is an 8. That marks us up to a 9.
And I rolled a 6 plus 4. That's a
Yay!
10. The only
There you go. As
I was so afraid I was gonna roll so low.
as the band tries to shove everything off of them and start coming out almost like zombies out of the grave themselves, making their way across the floor, you finish your graffiti doorway, and the band, all of you from your crew, make your way in, appearing now back where you were and away from them. You can only imagine and hope that Rat, as he was trying to charge after you, ran into it in a wily coyote kind of moment.
We need to
That
make
said,
copies of that picture and pass them around to as many other people as possible
Oh yeah,
at
I'll
some
look
point.
at it. It's beautiful.
that said, so you guys went all the way back to Spittles?
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right. It doesn't take you too long to find Johnny, and they are thrilled. In fact, you give them the baggie and they open it up. It seems to this merge onto their being, and it is the first time you think you've ever even seen, let alone heard anybody ever describe Johnny as smiling.
Nice.
And Johnny's like, okay, well, come on. I guess I got to teach you something.
Okay, that smile was used for Italian food, just so you know.
I thought I smelled garlic on my breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that said, we can actually go ahead and pause game here to some extent. You, of course, get the right, you hear through the grapevine that there has now been a challenge made for your band,
Of course.
uh, which is another mechanic in the game called the Battle of the Bands, which is actually a module that will appear inside the book. It is an opportunity for two bands to go head to head facing off in what culminates as a magical effect that you describe however you want.
Nice.
Um,
Cool.
yeah.
So
Because
here's a couple of things that I would want to do. Johnny's leaving. The
Mhm.
first thing I'd want to do is I would want to convince him to give us the Spittles.
That's a big one.
that's a big one, and
He's
the
not.
rest
He's
of the
gonna be
band is
gone. He
still
doesn't
there.
need it.
Well, his crew holds it, so
Oh, okay. Well,
he's
but
willing
if I
to
show
let
them that
you.
I know the solid lick already, then I am, then I am equal to Johnny. I know that's saying a lot, but we could have some vibrato there, and have them say whatever Johnny says, you know.
My goal is much smaller. I just want to change Rat Skull's name to Rat Fuck. That's to everybody.
Okay.
That's going to be his name now. So, and I'm going to hand out posters and flyers so that,
Mhm.
no one calls him Rat Skulls again.
Yeah, Janie's getting t-shirts and other swag printed, like screen printed with the picture that we took.
Awesome.
That's great. Stickers and shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And-
I reach back behind the stage and get a frame for the picture. So that's important.
Love it.
All right, and I will say that is another part of the game book itself is the opportunity to affect and change other people's cred. So you could literally turn someone's cred into rat fuck.
Nice. Okay.
Think of a picture
So-
like that, the deal's done.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Gutterpunk in of itself. I would definitely want to say thank you to all my players for coming out tonight and having the opportunity to play. So everyone, please go out there, go check out and support. It is, of course, Saturday on the weekend, and the Tabletop RPG Solidarity and Tabletop RPG Family. This is the way we support each other. So get on out there and enjoy. And thank you, everyone, for coming on the show. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you for running. Thanks. It was a
You're
lot of fun.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Stay safe and
Thanks
have a good
much.
evening.
Bye.
Take care.